40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. Forty Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV, where tonight we have the Area 51 Super Speedway Gen 6 here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you want to call it the Echo Park Speedway, you can, but I'm going to pass on that. So race number 3 here, 1.5 mile oval. 100 laps are scheduled distance, and as always, 2 fast pairs, 2 green white checkers available should they be needed. I was able to run here on Friday night with the trucks, and it was a lot of fun, caution free, and it taught me and humbled me about you can do everything right, but it may not always be enough still. That's the way I felt like I did after Friday night's race, where I think I had the right strategy and everything. Just made one wrong decision, and that dropped me from the lead two, where Charles and Dean were able to run away with the top 2 spots. And then I kind of was stuck in that pack in third, and that's about all I could do, unfortunately. So, but yeah, that just tells you how good these guys are. So, yeah, hope everybody's doing well. I know it's very, very cold and snowy and icy out in the Midwest and the East, so hope everybody's staying as safe as possible. And yeah, so hopefully some racing will be a good distraction from all of that going on. As again, race number 3 right now, and we've had 2 drivers have been able to basically get podiums in the first 2 races. That is going to be Landon Veliky, who's had a third and a third, as well as John Ellis with a first and a second. So they're hoping to keep those streaks together. Landon's going to try to get at least 1, if not 2 spots further up the running order tonight. And then hearing on the fuel mileage side of things, somewhere maybe upper 20s, lower 30s. So with it being a 100-lap race, if someone can really sip the fuel, if someone can stretch to that 33, 34 lap mark, there could be a potential to try maybe cut a pit stop out of this race, which could be huge, which also leads us to the next thing is pit stops. Very, very challenging pit entry, having to get down into turn number 3, having to stay below that white line all the way through 3 and 4 before getting down to that pit speed limit. And all those things happen very quickly, especially when you got a huge pack of cars trying to do all the same thing at once. It always makes for a very nervous time. So these cars are going to be an interesting combo. I was seeing speeds of about mid 180s or so during practice. And yeah, so we'll have to see kind of what these guys are able to do for the race here tonight. Looks like we have about, I think it's about 22, 23 cars, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty solid field for this evening's event. All right, and I believe qualifying has just completed. So with that, we're going to head over to pit road. All right, and we're going to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position is going to be that number 14 of John Ellis. Gabe Butler right behind, or should I say right next to him, I should say, only 16 thousandths behind in second. Cody Nagels, Landon Veliky there in row number 2. Dude Conrad Jack Walls in row 3. Then Evan Carl Bond, just double checked with him there. Earlier in the race in the 78, he starts 7th. Bud Steele in 8th. Maxwell Caldwell, Dean Wilkinson rounding out our top 10. Then you got Tom Dixon, Todd Merkel, 11th and 12th position. Continuing down the order, Eric Laurie in 13th. Pretty much identical times there with Charles Johnson, 14th. In the 15th spot is Vicente Guerrero. William Roberts next to him, 16th. And then Bob Fitzgerald, last driver to put a qualifying lap down there in 17th. And then a number of drivers maybe thinking that this might be a tough one tonight, opting to start towards the back, including Philip Bridgman there, Gary Huffines, Hayden Davis, Thomas Holder, Justin Davis, and Brandon Briggs going to start shotgun from this one this evening. So Brandon's going to be going for the last to first challenge here tonight at Atlanta. But he's going to have a lot of very difficult drivers to contend with. As you see the front row here with John Ellis and Gabe Butler as they're about to get ready to roll off and get this warm-up lap underway. Looks like got everybody in the field. The pace cars are going to start to roll, and we'll get that one warm-up lap underway. And then it's going to be all about what the strategy is going to be. Again, you'll see in the stripes on the track, there are 3 lanes. I don't feel the most confident about running all 3, that being said. So we'll see how aggressive these drivers are going to be, because again, I mean, this track is so difficult, and I'm watching in practice as well. That pit entry looks to be very challenging this evening, so I think that's going to be a big spot where this race could be won or lost just from pit entry, honestly. So I'm looking around the field trying to see where the drivers and their friends and everybody are lined up here. So we do have teammates nose to tail on the front, or on the inside row there, with the 14 and the 16. The 78 not too far away from that group as well. The 62 Landvelki up there on the top side. So they're pretty close to being all organized. Gabe's got that 8 car not too far away from him with Dude Conrad. So, yeah, again, I mean, it's early. I don't think we're going to see too much craziness to start, but I've also been proven wrong many a time. So we'll have to wait and see here as they come out of turn number 4. You're going to see the pace car make that sharp left off of the racing surface. And now just wait for that restart zone to hit. And once the green flag flies, these guys will be underway. And here you go. Green flag is out. It's 100 laps here tonight at Atlanta as the field starts to build up speed for the first time. And it looks like we're going to have trouble out of turn number 2. A couple cars involved. Caution is out. And you can see them all. We got Bob Fitzgerald pointing in the right direction, or in the wrong direction. Huge damage to the 7 of there. Philip Bridgman. That's going to just take some effort just to get to pit road. That car does not want to turn. And I'm not sure if he's going to... He might have to take a tow here. We'll see. Nope, yep, there's the tow. And yeah, unfortunately, early yellow for some of these drivers. So gonna go take a look back here, as I believe it's gonna happen somewhere around, and I'm gonna focus on Philip Bridgman here, because I'm looking up top there. You see Charles Johnson in the 9 car. I'm wondering if maybe a little bit of stack up here. You see that 21 there almost get into the left rear, I'm sorry. And then yeah, I think just a little bit of stack up there, and unfortunately that's where the 7, the 19, and the 08 all get hooked on together. Add the 10 to the mix as well, so not what the Davises are looking for on that one. For Hayden and Justin, you see Brandon Briggs sneaks to the inside. But yeah, unfortunately, 4-car incident right off the kick here tonight at Atlanta. So quick yellow to start off the evening. But again, though, I talked about you don't want to need it, but we do have those 2 fast pairs should these things come into play. And I'm watching that 19 car, and he's going to have to hustle. I don't think he's going to get there in time. Same thing for Justin Davis, because as they come through the pit lane, where's Gabe Butler? Right there on track. I don't know if he's going to get, or if they're going to get out before. Actually, no, I lied. They are going to get out before the 88, so they should be okay there. And we're going to have a very mixed bag here on strategy with the 88, the 8, the 83, the 6, and the 2. All 5 of these drivers staying out under this yellow here and not opting to get that little splash of fuel. John Ellis going to be the first in and out with just a splash of fuel to his car. And then same situation, it looks like, for pretty much the pack on back there. A little surprised a few drivers looking like they opted to take 4 tires there as well for, again, not anywhere at that point. And then a few drivers trying to get some potentially either damage repairs, or I'm not sure, but I'm seeing some lengthier stops there from Tom Dixon. Brandon Briggs is about 20 seconds, but Dean Wilkinson, he's still sitting on pit road. It's been about 40 seconds now. So now he's starting to roll, but didn't see anything happen to that 55 car. You start to see him rolling now nice and slow. But yeah, so not 100% sure on that one there, but yeah, unfortunately though, it's going to put him towards the back. However, I talked about that fuel window before. If, again, I would say we have a quick yellow, that's going to give that a little bit more leeway. This could now definitely turn, again, pending yellows, but this could definitely now turn into that 2-stop window strategy race that I just talked about. So we should see lights off this time for the pace car. You see the 14 coming back in. He's got to be careful here, because I think he's going to possibly pass some cars on pit entry, and I believe you that will be a penalty if he's passing on entry. So we'll keep an eye on that for the 14. If we see him make an unscheduled pit stop there, a little nervous at how far forward he ran in that pit entry. And you see John Ellis here, or sorry, Philip Bridgman, I apologize. John Ellis was talking about the 14 car. I was hoping that maybe Philip's tow would be done by now and he'd get rolling, but you can see still waiting for the tow and the fast pair before he can get rolling back out, which will trap him 2 down, unfortunately. All right, so field is doubling up. Drivers that went ahead and topped off will include, it looks like, I think pretty much Cody Nagel's on back here. It's going to be all those guys you see in single file. So the 16, the 78, the 62, the 14, the 98, and the 55. The top 5, like I mentioned, from the 88, the 83, 6, and 2 did not pit at all. And then Maxwell Caldwell, Vicente Guerrero, the first of those that did take a splash of fuel on that pit stop there. So 3 different strategies on when to pit for fuel. Some fuel, tires. I say again, tires to me doesn't make a difference at this point. But we're gonna restart this thing here to get back underway, starting on this time around. But start lap number 5. As waiting for that restart zone. Now we are down and away. Once again, Gabe Butler leading the way. A little bit of a hiccup through the gears there for the 8 dude Conrad. Now looks like he's okay, but still something going on with the 6 car that catches Maxwell Caldwell. That's going to probably bring out a second yellow, and indeed it is. And yeah, something went wrong on the 6 car as well there. So quick yellow on that one, unfortunately. And yeah, that's an odd one there. It is potentially a big benefit though for the, well, as I said, that the 7 car is back on pit road. I'd say it's a bad break for Maxwell there. It's just, yeah, something strange on that restart. So I'm going to go back here. We'll focus once more here now, this time on the 6 car of Bud Steele. So you can see Bud there behind the 8. 8 has a little hiccup through the gears. Bud gives him the shot. But then now, yeah, it's almost like Bud at this point, there's something going on because you see that wheel is not turning. So I'm not sure what happened there for, so maybe a bit of a hardware issue. But then, yeah, unfortunately, kind of just ricochets off the wall. That catches the 94. And yeah, just unfortunately nothing for Maxwell that he can do there. And then the rest of the field here is just trying to get down as quick as they can. Hopefully not getting caught up in this one, or of course getting accordioned into their into one another as well. And it looks like, from everything I'm seeing, it looks like everybody else able to get cleared through there. You see one stopping completely there. I think that's Gary Huffines making absolutely certain there. So we'll jump back live. We do have a handful of drivers hitting pit road. Gabe is going to be the first of those. Others opting to stay out once more will be Jack and Todd Merkel. So we'll do here is we'll take quick advantage of this yellow here with the 2 quick in succession. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back on the window to go.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, we are back. Pace car through 3 and 4 should hit the one to go here this time around. And sure enough, lights are off of that pace car. So they're going to stack it back up double wide here. So now it's going to be the 83 and the 2. And then you got the 39 and the 10. And I say Brandon's thinking, man, this is easy. I just went from last to third, and I haven't had to do much in the start of this race yet. So say he is up about, I think, 20 spots from his starting position. Did have a number of drivers, like I mentioned, go ahead and pit there as well. Vicente right now is the first of those in the 41 car. Pitting on lap number 6, that most recent yellow. And then again, number of drivers topping off Cody, the first of those now in the 16. And so at this point, I got to lean that these guys, at least for sure, the ones that pitted here in this most recent yellow, so from 6th place Vicente Guerrero on back here, probably can make it on a 2-stop strategy at this point. Don't have to worry about that extra, that third stop at this point. So for Jack Walls, Todd Merkel, they did not pit at all yet in this race, so not 100% sure for those two. And then, of course, pitting on lap 1 was Justin Davis, lap 2 Brandon Briggs, lap 1 Hayden Davis. So again, some questions on that one. Does look like the field is all back on track here together. Philip Bridgman is back in the race as well. I believe he is being scored 2 laps down, if not 3, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, though, and yeah, there's 3 laps down on the ticker. But here you go, though, back to the restart here. It's Jack Walls on the inside, Todd Merkel to his outside. We'll see if everybody gets through the gears a little cleaner this time around. With a little stack up again on the inside line here. So they're still having a little bit, maybe getting through the gears quite right here on the start. But up front, though, all looking nice and clean. Just a little bit further back, a little bit of those hiccups like I had mentioned. But looks like people are starting to get through the gears here nice and clean. But very quickly single file here for those top 5 drivers. So now looking out the back of the 83 of Jack Walls, he will lead this lap as well. And now, like I said, it's going to be the strategy of is this a race of maybe not wanting to lead at this point? And again, this track's, I'd say, an unknown for these guys. They know kind of what to expect at a Daytona, Talladega. I don't know if a lot of people have run this combo here with the Gen 6 at the new Atlanta. At this point, pretty much a super speedway type track. So tire wear is going to be important to see how that's going to look. If it's going to be one of those tracks where it used to be where you needed to take 4 tires, even though it cost you time on the pits with the reduced fuel loads these cars have. It was almost worth waiting on the tires because it actually was that much of an advantage. At the end, see when they're catching the outside wall there through 3 and 4. Trying to catch which car that was there. I think that may have been Landon Velke that got a little piece of the wall. He was on the outside of potentially, I think, the 98 there, Gary Huffines. But it looks like able to recover. But yeah, just as I say, definitely a moment for him. Maybe a little bit of a scuff to that right side. We'll see if we can take a look here. Won't be able to tell on this camera angle, that said. But yeah, so 62, a little bit of check up there at the top side. You could see that to pretty much get on the brakes there through 1 and 2. And again, that's going to be the momentum, is to see how these cars, this combo, how the momentum is going to be, how important that's going to be. Right now, though, John L's trying to get back to the point here in the 14 machine. Right now is just a nose ahead of Jack Walls. He's got good help from Dude Conrad. And Dude's got that 17 of Evan Carlbon behind him. And right now, this 83, a little bit of a wash there, 1 and 2. Not too bad. They're able to gather it as they stay side by side from 3rd on back now. And then now we'll say if you're the 7 of Philip Bridgman, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place here because you restarted in this main pack. It's not like he just threw himself up there. So, and he can't just disappear in this pack. So right now his best option is to stay aggressive, stay in the back of right now the 78 car, and see if he can do something. Oh, big bump there in 1 and 2 from the 1478. They are teammates, but man, that's one of those ones where even as teammates, you don't know, these cars may not respond so great to big pushes. However, it worked great for them because that got the 2 of them now lined up together on that inside lane as well. And so now that can open up some opportunities now for that 7 car. He's going to be rooting on that car behind him in the 21 machine of William Roberts. If William can push him ahead, that would actually net him a bonus lap almost, where if there was a yellow and he's tailing the 2 laps down at this point, that would actually put him from 3 laps down pretty much straight to 1 lap down. So that's how important it is. If you're over a lap down here, it's very worthwhile to stay aggressive and try to be a nose ahead of that 14 car of John Ellis at the moment. Right now, say hasn't quite got there yet, but is sitting about 3rd in line on that, up against that 8 of Duke Conrad. Also, a little further back here, Tom Dixon's just at risk of losing the draft. But again, though, unless I've missed something, but again, something going with Dean Wilkinson. We saw that long pit stop for him earlier. Car looks clean, so I'm not sure if maybe he was caught up in something or reacted to something that dropped him back down the running order. But unfortunately, that 55 now is off on his own here. So lap time-wise, it's going to definitely be struggling. And I'll compare those lap times this time around as the leaders ran a 29.68. Dean, as he crossed the line, has a 30.85, so a little over a second a lap slower. And again, with these being about 30-second laps here at Atlanta, that's pretty much, they could lap him in the span of a fuel run here. So it's going to be kind of just one of those things where it could wind up being a good thing or a bad thing depending on how these cautions may fall in this race. So but yeah, not what Dean was looking for after having that nice 1-2 finish with his teammate Charles Johnson on Friday. And of course, with the Speedway racing, Daytona Talladega, we talk about the yellow line here. It's that red and white line. And the more crucial spot is going to be through here, through that dogleg tri-oval. And this is one of those things where you aren't allowed to pass down below that. However, you'll see drivers kind of maybe go 2 tires, if not even all 4 tires underneath it. A lot of times you'll see that inside line. That's just to give room and respect to the guys on the outside line. They're not trying to cut the corner or anything like that. They're just trying to make sure that they aren't pinching that outside line into the wall. So you will see that from time to time more often than not. Like I said, it's not to gain any sort of advantage. It's just to give a little bit of safe space to those guys around them. That way they're not really squishing up to the wall, especially because you can see the way this dogleg works is it's not this nice smooth turn. It's pretty much 2 pretty abrupt angles in that dogleg area. So that's why you'll see these guys kind of cutting to the inside of that a little bit. But again, that is okay to do in this here. So that's, like I said, they're not trying to take advantage. But here you go, though. I talked about Philip Bridgman. This is, I think you take it right now. If you're him, you get to that inside line, and he does exactly that. So right now, the leader of this field is now 2 laps down, not 3 laps down. This is huge for Philip's chances in this race here because, again, if he can get a timely caution, but there you go, the momentum shifts so quickly. He had almost a couple car lengths lead, but just like that, he falls right back now side by side. I think he should have stayed and kind of held that inside line, but however, you never want to ditch your helper. In this case is William Robertson at 21, but I'm kind of getting to the point, though, if I'm the 7, if I'm clear, I'm taking that spot because I want to make sure I have a chance at getting those 2 laps back in one shot instead of just going from 3 down to 2 down. Man, if I can go from 3 to 1 in one little swoop here, I'm taking that all day, every day. So I want to see that 7 car. If he clears that 14 again, get to the bottom and just go with it. But I think, like I said, I think he wants that 7 to go with the 21. And even possibly some of those other guys, the 39 there, Brandon Briggs, he's right in that mix. But you saw right there a little bit of a bobble for the 21. Drifted up high, loses momentum. That's going to drop him back. But no, he's going to get help here. The 8 car Duke Conrad, he's thinking, nope, he thought different. He said, no, I'm going to stay here on the inside line. He changes his mind. And for just one moment, Philip is thinking, all right, I got a new pusher here. But it looks like that the 21 of William Roberts back now locked onto the rear of that 7. However, yeah, I think the 21's starting to struggle because you can see he's drifted up to the outside line there, and Brandon Briggs actually able to get to the middle, get around him, so now move the 39 to the 2nd car. So now he will become the pusher for that 7. And again, looking at the pit stop cycles, Jack Walls right now sitting on the 4th car in the inside line. He did not pit in this race. The 2 of Todd Merkel also did not pit so far in this race. So they should be able to go, I'd say, at least, I would say maybe another 10 laps or so with the cautions we've had. So maybe get into about 34, 35. But again, these other guys that pitted around lap 6, lap 7, I don't know how far they can go. They might be able to stretch it into the lap 40 or so mark in this one. So it's gonna, again, it'll be intriguing to see kind of what's the strategy on this one. And to me, though, this is a race where you run as long as you can. Daytona, Talladega, you can pit there, not lose a lap with the reduced fuel loads that we have. So there, you can open up the strategy to short pit and maybe try to break the draft up a little bit. Here at Atlanta, as well as iRacing Super Speedway, if you pit under green, you will get lapped. So short pitting is definitely a very dangerous decision to make. You kind of have to trust the whole cycle will go green, unless your hand is forced, of course, and having less fuel than the other. So that's going to be the big question mark for me, is who's going to make that call. Like I said, I think for sure we're going to see Jack Walls and Todd Merkel will be some of the first ones in. Also joining them are going to be drivers like Brandon Briggs, Justin Davis, Hayden Davis as well. Those guys are all going to have to come in pretty early compared to these other guys that went ahead and pitted at that lap 6, lap 7 yellow. So it won't be by a lot, but I mean 2 laps, 3 laps, that's enough to make you really sweat bullets for a little while. And pretty much for updating Dean Wilkinson, as these leaders were entering turn number 3, he was entering turn number 1. So they're pretty much a little over a half a lap ahead of him, because he just right now is entering 3 now as they are in 1. So again, it's pretty equal on that side. But again, though, lap time wise, he's now about 0.8 of a second slower, because with the draft, the pace has slowed down a little bit now with the tire wear, and everybody's starting to try and get organized, get to the inside, be ready for pit stops in the next handful of laps. Whereas Dean, he can just kind of run qualifying laps if he wants to. He's probably, well, actually, we don't have to speculate. Let's watch what Dean's doing here. And yeah, he's pretty much just running qualifying laps. You can see kind of drifting up towards the middle. He'll get back to that red and white line entering turn 3. And so he's really able to kind of take care of his tires in that 55 car. So some of the other guys here, when they were running side by side, they're having to really pin that inside lane. But now you can see and now when you're in that position, you don't want to drift up off the bottom, because you're afraid someone might try to steal that spot. So like if you're Jack Walls right there, you saw him drift up just a little bit. There's always that little bit of a fear. Hey, if I go up too high, Charles Johnson says, hey, I see that opening, I'm going to go ahead and take that spot. So this is one of those things that these drivers do have to be very aware of. Again, especially as you get towards pit stop time, you want to get everything you can get out of these cars. So right now for Charles, you can see right behind that number 83, he's got the 2 right behind him. As again, we're starting lap number 30 now, 31 here at the line. So like I mentioned, that window's going to be opening very soon for a handful of these guys, but it will be the 83 and the 2 that we'll for sure be watching first. Another driver actually that I think maybe one of the first things is going to be that 7 car, as he again also he had to take that tow, finally got back on track, but I'm showing him as that's the last time he was on pit road as well, was when he towed on lap number 1, didn't come back in since, and was leading that outside line, trying to see if he can maybe get one of those laps back. So he might also be an early one to come in. But I am looking again at drivers organized, and some of those guys that did not top off most recently. That's going to be these guys here, the 39, the 10, all lined up together there. I think the 7 is part of that mix as well. So again, we'll soon see some drivers start to peel off to the inside. But again, I think probably another 3 laps realistically for some of them. But again, like I said, I'm kind of broken record here, though. I'm expecting to see the 83, the 2, the 39, the 10, and the 7 will probably be some of our earliest takers. And as always, if you guys are watching, if you have a driver, family member, whoever it is that you want some attention, see where they're running, by all means, let me know. If you want to take a look at any paint schemes, anything like that, that is what we're here for. We always love to kind of show you what you want to see. That's why we're doing this, is for you all. So again, yeah, don't be shy. Definitely let us know. I know, obviously, Cody, he's talked about he's got his dad that would watch here and there as often as he could in the races. Right now, Cody rolling in that top 10. He's got Eric Laurie ahead of him, Maxwell Caldwell behind. Also watching his teammate Vicente Guerrero there, trying to roll it topside here, maybe trying to steal a spot or 2. He's going to get around the 98, it looks like. But yeah, like I said, no takers yet. I'm also watching the 62 now, Landon Velicki. He's starting to try to creep forward here. So this is something that I like to do myself, is once you know people are about to pit, this is when you did your saving. Now let's jump up. We're going to try to push. We're going to try to get some speed here. And right now, Cody, I think Maxwell may have actually got a little side draft off the back of that 16 car, pulled Cody back maybe even a little bit there. As that looked like the 16 car had fallen back off of Eric Laurie a little bit, and I'm wondering if it was from that. But that said, the Landon's able to get a spot now. I think Vicente did him a solid, let him slot in line there in that number 42, or sorry, the 62 and the 41, as we are now on lap number 36. And man, that fuel mileage to me is definitely screaming two stoppers, including those guys that had not pitted yet. So right now, like I said, I'm still waiting to see somebody peel off. And here you go. The first is going to be Jack Walls, but this is the concern and what you don't want to see. That is me coming into pit road by yourself here is that number 83 car. See the cones there? That is the speed commit line. Looks like he gets in there nice and clean. So we'll keep an eye, see what his pit stop time is, if he's going to opt to take left sides, right sides for fuel only. A lot of options to be had. And here you go. Here comes the next bigger group now. This is going to be Todd Merkel, the first on there. He's going to have Philip Bridgen with him. And again, you focus on that white line there before you see the red and white line. It's that thinner white line. They have to stay underneath that for this pit entry here. And again, they're going to get to that pit entry cone. And once more, it looks like nice and clean there. They got to make sure they stagger off each other, make sure no contact. And now these guys all on pit road. Dean Wilkinson as well is in, already rolling out. And here you go, next group coming in together here a little earlier than I would have suspected, truth be told. But now again, though, this is going to be another group here that this is, I believe, teammates all together here with the 14, the 78 there. But then you have the 9 and the 6 working together as well. But still chiming in there, a little bit of contact, the 78 to the 14 there. I think hopefully still got away with it. Oh, Tom Dixon, though, I saw that in the corner of my eye. Definitely caught that outside cone. That will be a pit penalty for an unsafe entry for him. I expect to see a hold, unfortunately, for that car. And now Dude Conrad coming in with Eric Laurie there behind him. I saw William Roberts jumping in there as well in the 21. And then add Thomas Holder, Bob Fitzgerald. So again, little by little, these guys starting to peel off onto pit road. And it's going to be a pretty big range of where all these drivers are pitting right now. So we'll go through what laps everybody pitted on as after we complete the cycle. But now you've got, it looks like 6 drivers yet to pit here. And the 6th driver in that mix is actually probably a little further back than he wants to be, and that's that 88 of Gabe Butler. So I'd say watch when Gabe pits here. He's probably going to pretty much go a little bit Hail Mary on the entry to make sure he gains as much time as possible. So right now he's actually about a second off of Vicente, and I'm watching the interval, and it's actually starting to grow. So unfortunately for Gabe, it was just a little bit too far back in the pit stop cycle when people started cycling in, and he lost this top 4 group. So like I said, Gabe's going to have to be aggressive. He might change his strategy, say, and go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just take left side tires or fuel only just to try to shorten that pit stop. But I'm going to be watching those. Like I said, watch this 88, though. He's going to hustle it on in here and try to close that gap as much as he possibly can here on the entry. There you go, nice and staggered by all those top 4 drivers. Gabe rolling in there behind 2, not too far back. Still going to be a bit of a climb for him, I feel like. But once these 5 drivers finish their pit stops, that will complete the cycle. And again, though, Cody qualified towards the front, so he's going to have the furthest pit stall away from the entry. And then you'll see Landon Velke just a couple stalls behind. Actually, I should say just 1 stall behind him. There goes Gabe Butler in front of him. And so there's the difference. And I'm watching, you see right sides. There you go. Oh, interesting for Gabe. There's a hiccup there. He didn't actually hit his pit stall. It was too far back, I think. And that's just going to add salt to the wound here for that 88 car. He's waiting for tires or for fuel. Now he's able to go. Initially, I thought it was a really quick stop, but unfortunately, obviously you can see it was not the situation there. And now here comes the 16 and company. And there goes the other pack right now that went ahead and already pitted there, led by Jack Walls. And I got to say, great job by Jack. He pitted at 36. He was the first driver to hit pit road, but still able to come out on top. And that is just extremely impressive for him. And that's what I wanted to go over, was when these drivers pitted and their pit stop time, pit lane time, get all the fun details on that one. So Jack Walls, the first driver to hit pit road, was lap 36. And then 5 laps later, Cody Nagels in the 16 car, he hit pit road on 41 with Maxwell, with Landon, with Vicente, all those drivers there. So it's a 5-lap advantage for them. And then what I love to look at is always pit lane time. And for Jack Wells, it's a 43.07. But the one that stands out to me by a long shot is this driver right here, Landon Velke in the 62 car, 39.85. He was the only driver sub 40-second total pit lane time. Great job of that 62 car there. The closest, I think, next to him, I believe, is, I'm showing Todd Merkel, which was in the actually, no, I lied. It's Cody Nagels, 42.68. So even then, he was still almost 3 seconds faster. Total pit lane in and out of the pits time. So really good job by that number 62 car there in that situation. And looking at pit time too, I'm pretty much seeing, for the most part, 2 tires throughout the field. I think maybe one 4 or a couple 4 tire options, but as a whole, pretty much 2 tires all the way around. And while we've been chatting about that, we now have a lead pack of 8 cars, and they're working hard here. They're going to try to make this a lead pack of 14 cars as Charles Johnson, Brandon Briggs working together. They have been closing the gap. Last time by, they were a second quicker. It's a 29.49 for Charles Johnson, 30.48 for Jack Wells, and they're closing to in about a second now of that 41 here of Vicente Guerrero. So great job drafting by that second pack here. And unfortunately, we saw the hiccups there for Gabe Butler, and with Gabe having that hiccup right now, he is just unfortunately off on his own, waiting to get some help, some draft help, and that will come in the form of Thomas Holder there, then Bob Fitzgerald, and then also add the 21 of William Roberts as well as Eric Laurie, which will lead us to the next section is pit penalties. And that will include the 21 of William Roberts, the 071 Eric Laurie, Duke Conrad, Tom Dixon, all of those drivers getting pit penalties there, which is, again, a 40-second stop and hold. So you can see on the timing and scoring, that's why you see all those drivers down 1 lap. So at the moment, it's the 21 cars, the first driver 1 down of William Roberts. But again, he's got no breathing room because he's got Eric Laurie right behind him. And then, well, I'm going to change that because here you go. Dean Wilkinson just now got put down that lap. So now Dean actually the first car 1 down. And for Dean, comfortably the first car 1 down because he's the only one in this main draft pack at the moment in that situation, because the next car that would be the one to get lapped is that number 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, who's in that other pack. So right now, Dean just needs to play it cool and just kind of just cruise control here. Save as much fuel as he can, just kind of draft as best he can here. And if something happens, just make sure you're not involved. So, yeah, so right now, though, Jack continues the lead. And I'm going to say this is not what Jack wants, though, because he's the driver that pitted earliest. He's burning the most fuel right now as our race leader. However, it's calm for now. Let's run through the field. So we've got our current leader, Jack Wells, started in 6th, currently is in 1st. Right behind him, Todd Merkel in that number 2 car, running in that number 2 spot, up 10 positions. In 3rd is Evan Karlbahn with a terrifying profile picture. I'm afraid to ask him about that, but maybe we'll get the opportunity post-race. In 4th, you have John Ellis in that number 14 car, our pole sitter for tonight. And then, not wasting no time changing positions while I try to run through the field, is going to be at the moment Charles Johnson running in that 5th spot, now 4th spot. He is currently up between 10 to 11 spots because he is working things right now with that 55 car on the top side, trying to get to the point. Then you get to Cody Nagels there. He sits in the 6th position right now. And right behind him, Maxwell Caldwell in that number 94 car sits in 7th. Brandon Briggs did the drafting work earlier. Now he gets up there. He wants to join the party up top there as well. There, saw Charles and company going. He's going to try to tag on with them as well. As I say, that big contact in the back, that's going to bring a yellow out, I suspect. Bud Steele is around, and at the moment, so you can see he's going to try to get that car refired. But I think with them being in the back of the draft group, it looks like, unfortunately for Bud, no yellow. We saw this on Friday with the opening lap crash. Yellow did not come out there either. Let's go back and take a look here. Focus on Bud here through 1 and 2, and I think that's just, again, I mean, we're seeing it from here, but I kind of think the 10 car was trying to slot in behind the 6 and just unfortunately misjudged it, and unfortunately, like I said, just not what the 6 is looking for, and so yeah, you can see, and again, I mean, if you're Justin Davis, that's the last thing you want to do too, because you can see how much it destroyed his car as well. So we'll jump back live. You can see that left front is just completely broken on his car. Bud Steele on pit road. Justin Davis trying to limp this thing to pit road as well. No steering to that car. But we'll jump back live here. Just to double check on the rest of the field here. It looks like everybody is still up and running. Looking for the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Looks like he's slotted in the 4th in line there. Charles Johnson right behind him. And then you see Tom Dixon trying to work with Brandon Briggs. And I think Tom right now sitting 2 laps down. So same thing. If he can get to maybe just being 1 down, really opens up a lot of opportunities for him. I think Justin Davis is, yeah, he's still sparking that poor car. Like you can see right here, that car just will not turn. And that is terrifying if you're these other guys. You can see the right front wheel. I mean, he has got that thing full lock, just begging that car to turn. And I think now he's going to maybe have a chance. You can see he is just trying to manipulate that car to get it to angle. There he goes. You can see it make that little adjustment. So now the problem is now the car's not, yeah, that suspension and steering is completely broken. But at the moment, we will, looks like, stay green. He's going to have to hope for him to get in the pit stall correctly to get that fast repair taken. I can tell you Bud Steele's back out on track, but again, for Bud now, same thing, another tough weekend for him after Friday nights as well, sitting at 2 laps down at the moment. And yeah, it's just right now one of those things where the incidents are happening far enough off the track where it's just iRacing doesn't throw the yellow, and that's how this is based off of, is off of iRacing caution. So unfortunately, like I said, Bud, they're getting just kind of the wrong end of the deal there. So unfortunately, that's just how it goes from time to time. So with that, let's go ahead and try to get back in through our running order through our field once more. I believe I don't know if we got to Landon Belkey, so let's jump over to that number 62 car as he sits in 9th. Vicente Guerrero rounds out our top 10 in that 41. Then we get to Hayden Davis in the 19 car is in the 11th position. I apologize. And then we start to get to those drivers off the back of the field here. Gary Huffines right now, he is on his own there with some, well, I should say on his own for the most part, but has Bud Steele now with him as he sits in the 12th spot. Then he got to go another 9 seconds back to Bob Fitzgerald here, who does have some help though. He's got Thomas Holder right there in 14th, Gabe Butler in 15th. Those are our lead lap drivers at the moment. Then drivers 1 down. Dean Wilkinson is the first of those in as the driver lap down in the main pack. So again, this is where Dean wants to be in this situation. Then you get to those drivers that lap down in the second pack. First off is William Roberts in the 21. Then you get to Eric Laurie here in the 071. Again, in that second pack. And then Jude Conrad is 1 down, about to go 2 down here in that number 8. And then drivers that are already 2 down, including Tom Dixon here in the 411. Bud Steele now, of course, with the incident, he sits 2 down, unfortunately. And I believe Philip Bridgman is 3 down. Indeed he is. And then, unfortunately, with everything, with trying to limp that broken car to get to pit road, unfortunately, Justin Davis now sits 5 laps down. That is the field at the moment. We are approaching, we're at 40 laps to go as we speak. So again, fit pit window, I'm going to say, again, I go as long as I can. I think that's job one. I think you try to stretch this thing as far as you can. What I'm also watching here is Brandon Briggs. I think he saw, I'm not sure the order of things happening, but I think Brandon saw Cody starting to roll that top side with Landon Belkey. And he says, you know who would be a really good pusher? It's going to be Cody Nagel. So I say Brandon's going to try to see if he can lead this train here, get to the front in that number 39 car, I apologize. Try to find his way to the front. Oh, just squeeze in front of Dean Wilkinson there. Just a big enough spot for that U.S. Army Chevy. And so he's going to slot in line there. But Cody and Landon, they are not done. They're going to keep rolling here. They want to roll that top. They want to get to that top spot before we get to that pit stop cycle. Dude Conrad, he's going to try to tag on with them. I saw Vince starting to pop out top there as well in that number 41. Curious to see, do we see John Ellis maybe roll with him as well as maybe Evan Carlbon as well? But right now it looks like it's going to be mostly these three for the moment. But again, though, these tires are starting to wear. You can see right there, I saw the 7 drift up a little bit through 3 and 4. Tires are starting to show their age. And looking to see again, I pretty much see right side tires in this entire field except for Charles Johnson. That car looks like, based on the pit stop time, looks like a 4 tire stop for the 9. As you can see, Landon and Cody now have taken those top 2 spots. So if I'm Jack right now, I'm doing as much fuel saving as I can. Just try to make sure you can make it to that magic number to not have to make an extra stop or splash or anything like that. So again, for Jack here, he might be okay already, but it's just one of those things where, again, and the other problem is he's once more, he will be by far the first to hit here. And here you go, coming at 35 to go. That's too far to go. That's just, again, unfortunate for Jack. He was the first to pit last time. He's going to be the first to pit this time by a long margin. And this is going to be a tough break for Jack here, because I think his best hope now is for a yellow after the pit stop cycle completes. I think that's his only chance to get a good finish here tonight, unfortunately. So we'll see. Again, there's still a lot that can happen. The problem also that I have concern for with Jack is nobody pitted with him, and you will lose a lap in this, so he's going to have to hope he just by chance kind of rolls out with a group here, because he's still sitting on pit road now. I'm waiting for him to roll on my timing and scoring. And nothing yet. Now he's down and away. He might have a chance actually here, because I'm watching the second pack here. Again, being led by, I believe, Bob Fitzgerald. So as they come through here through 3 and 4 down the front stretch, looking for Jack Walls on track. And there's Jack. So this actually may work out okay for him. We'll have to wait and see. I believe I did just see Brandon Briggs. He's on pit road. Same thing for him. Although I think Brandon had a situation here. Let's go back here. We'll come back and watch here again for Brandon. And is this maybe a pit stop gone wrong? So I think this is Brandon saying, hey, I'm coming in. Nobody else goes with him. And so Brandon's like, well, wait a second. This isn't going to fly. So he actually comes back on track. So we'll have to wait and see for Brandon. This might wind up being, I'm not sure if you get a penalty if you go in and then not actually pit. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But unfortunately, it's a tough break for the 39 car. So now he is going through 3 and 4 down on the apron to hit pit road. And again, any little mistake. So looking for Jack Walls in all of this. And I think that group has just now actually caught him. But here you go, though. I saw a handful of drivers hitting pit road here. Philip Bridgman, just saw Todd Merkel, that late turn in. Oh, Dean Wilkinson, he saw him hustling at 55 as well. He's got Charles Johnson along with him as well. And then I saw just in the background Tom Dixon as well here. So these are the first of the groups of the front runners. A little lockup for Philip there. Looks like he should be okay, though. And then now they just got to make sure. But look at the separation now, though. The top two, they've kind of just run away here. And again, we're still 31 to go. I think I just saw one more peel off. That's going to be Dude Conrad. And so what I'm looking at, though, is its teammates and Maxwell Caldwell. Sorry, Max. But you've got the 16 to 62. They're off and running. I mean, this is impressive by them. They've just kind of turned it up a notch here. Then you got the teammates here with this 41, the 78, the 14. Maxwell said, yep, this is the group I want to work with here as well. So once they go in, he's going to jump in with them. There's no question there. So, yeah, so right now it's just we have to wait. And this is the other terrifying part is when you watch the timing and scoring after the pit stop cycle, you are going to see a lot of cars at the moment trapped one down. And, again, this is where you're kind of sweating bullets here when you're those guys that pit where you're just thinking, please, please, please stay green because I do not want to have to deal with getting my lap back. Or if I do get my wave around on the one to go, you lose all that track position. All right, here you go. Cody's in, Landon's in. Look further back here. Here comes the other drivers coming on in as well. So this is going to be pretty much the main group here. So as they come through 3 and 4 down on the apron, don't want to overdrive it here. You can see close there between 16 and 62. They're able to get down. Vicente is hustling in there as well. Oh, that looked a little hot from Evan. I'm a little nervous about that one there. Hopefully got it woke down in time. And then Gabe Butler, he is not pitted yet. He's the last driver to pit. And I think Gabe's saying, you know what? I'm just going to run this thing dry. Maybe I'll get a timely yellow. We'll wait and see. But right now for Gabe, though, he's just got to hope for something to go his way to throw him back in the mix here. As we are down to 28 to go. And here you go. Gabe's going to go now. He's going to bring Eric Laurie with him. He is going to bring, I believe that was the 10 car as well of Justin Davis. And that will complete our green flag pit stop cycle here at Atlanta. Ooh, close again there. And now what we do is we have to wait and see where everybody's going to cycle out. There goes Landon. There goes Cody. Looking for Vince. Vince is not too far behind as well. Great pit stop actually for Vince because he is right on Cody here. Then you got Maxwell, and he has found Todd Merkel. That's great for those two teammates. And Jack Walls is right there as well with John Ellis. Then we'll see from there who's able to get back up there. But right now, it is about a 3-car breakaway. We'll see what Maxwell and Todd can do here. And again, I mentioned for Jack Walls, he's in this pack. This is perfect for him, except for the fact that he pitted a lap 65. I do not think he's going to stretch that field to the end. He's going to need a yellow to have a chance in this one here. But again, before we get to any of that, they got to get there. Also watching Charles Johnson here. He is getting help from Dean Wilkinson. These guys are, again, we know how well they work together, and they're trying to hustle to get up there as well. Then you got Evan Carlbon there. Gary Huffines trying to tie into that group as well to get Chase back up there. And yeah, so if all goes as ideal as possible, we could have 10 cars in this lead pack vying for the win this race. Charles Johnson and them, they will catch that Jack Walls group being led by Maxwell Caldwell. However, the Maxwell Caldwell group is slowly dropping off behind that group led by Vicente Guerrero. Last time by, they were actually 0.3 of a second slower. So this is going to be that risk versus reward time right now. I think if Max wants to try to win this race, he's going to have to tell Todd, hey, push aggressively, take the risks. This is the only way we're going to catch him. So we'll see what the adjustment is for these two drivers here. You see right there, Todd's going to give him a little shot down the tri-oval. And again, that is what you got to do. You got to try to keep that speed built up. Last time by, they about mirrored the top 3. So again, they're doing what they need to do here. And I'm also, you see right there, though, a little bit of movement there, a little bit of separation from the 62 and 16. 62 went top there. And so again, that might actually slow that pace down a tiny bit from these top 3. And I think that may have been Landon maybe trying to steal some draft off of Gabe Butler, who I just caught in the corner of my eye there in the 88 car. So again, we'll see what the lap times look like here. And yeah, that I was wondering if that made a difference, and the answer is yes. It was a 29.87 for Landon, 29.54 for Maxwell, 0.3 of a second quicker. It's just about 1.1 seconds between the 41 and the 94. And again, you can see there's a decent separation between those top 3. And so basically, like I said, for Maxwell and Todd, Todd's just got to be greedy. He's got to be aggressive, and almost one of those ask for forgiveness versus ask for permission. Just push that 94 car like there's no tomorrow. So see if he gets the charge down here down the backstretch. Gets to him. There's the big bump there. You could see right before they got to the entry of 3. You see Bud Steele there in the corner of my eye hitting pit road. And the one concern, though, is now that second pack, they have added Gabe to the mix there, so that is a 4th car there. That never hurts, but you can see, though, Todd is pushing that 94 for all he is worth. Last time by, it was about 0.06 of a second quicker for Landon in the number 62 car. But again, though, you can see maybe a little bit different lines here. The 62 is kind of drifting up there. So not sure if this is maybe a comfort thing, maybe worry about tire wear. Because it does look like, again, though, actually, I'm going to say Todd Merkel and Charles Johnson, I believe those two drivers did take 4 tires from the pit stops I'm looking at here. So, yeah, so I'll have to keep an eye on that one. Last time by, again, 2/10 quicker, though this time Maxwell Caldwell, so it's under a second between the 41 and the 94, so well done by those guys. And Gabe is going to be the latter, it looks like, because now they have got to the 88. They just need to steal the 88's draft here, get to him, and then from there they'll be able to kind of piggyback off him right up to that main pack. So right now Gabe is actually Maxwell's best friend here as we are 19 to go. So this lead pack is now 8 cars on the lead lap. Jack Walls, again, the last car on the lead lap. I do not think he has the fuel to make it to the end. Like I said, I think Jack's going to need some help, unfortunately, due to a mistake from others. But we'll have to wait and see. He's been known to do some pretty good fuel saving. I just saw Gabe there again, just being the respectful gentleman that he is. He rolled up top there. As soon as Maxwell got there, he said, yep, I'm not fighting this. You guys go right on by. And so, yeah, so unfortunately for Gabe, that's going to drop him down the running order, which I believe now will put him 1 down. I don't believe 2 down. I think it's just be the 1 lap down. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. That is actually 2 down for Gabe. I apologize. And, oh, that's because he had a pit penalty. There's a 51-second stop for Gabe. So he did have that little bit of a bump from Eric. Not sure if maybe he was too fast on entry before that, or maybe the bump actually pushed him over the speed limit. But either way, though, unfortunately, it was a 40-second hold for the 88 car. And so that's actually now dropped him 2 down. So I apologize, mistake on that one. And here you go, though. Maxwell's got the draft. He said, all right, we got there. Let's keep the momentum going. But as I see that, you can see a big push from the 2, a big push from the 7. Here goes Maxwell. He's going to steal some side draft there. Won't get the lead at the line. But you know Maxwell is going to give it absolutely everything that he can for this part here now for the win of this race. And, oh, big bump from 62 in the 16 there. Again, just got the 62 a little bit off center there. But watch the side drafting now. Will we see it from the inside to the top, or will it be the top just squeezing the inside? But again, though, there's so much racing left to go in this thing. We're 15 to go here at the line. You got to be careful how aggressive you're going to be here in these final laps. At that time at the line, I think Maxwell maybe had it by a couple thousandths. And Cody's actually going to jump top here, maybe try to get the 94 around the 62. Maybe he wants to try to take control of this race. So maybe just something he has, maybe something the 62 maybe not comfortable. I'm not sure, but right now Cody's actually jumped to the top. You see Maxwell has cleared. So now Maxwell's got to make that tough choice here. Does he try to work both lanes? Does he stay committed one way or the other? Right now, to me, that second lane looks like that may be the place to be. So I think if I'm Maxwell, maybe just run that second line here, run that dotted line. And Cody's going to clear. He jumps to the inside. Maxwell's going to do a late block there. Got a little bit of a bump there. You can see that number 94 get a little bit sideways there from that bump. And now Maxwell's going to try to have a very wide 94 car here, as the 16 is going to try to jump to the top here with the 62. Maxwell again going to try to squeeze here. But right now he is lacking in drafting help, because that's going to be the 2 of Todd Merkel. And now he's got no choice. He's going to have to open up that inside line there. But he's got now help from Todd Merkel. As, oh man, that 62 Landvelke got loose on that inside here entering turn 1. As now it is that 16 a nose ahead here down the back. And everybody's going to try to get reestablished, I feel like, at this point. And again, you look at the teams and you look at the organization. And so you've got 2 teammates working together on the top side, the 94 and the 2. Inside, you've got teammates there with the 16, the 62, the 41, and the 14 all along the stern as well. But we haven't talked yet still about some other drivers like Charles. He's not shown his hand yet. He's in this hunt. He can still win this race as well. And then, of course, there's also drivers that may be a lap or more down, but doesn't mean that they can't play a role in pushing and helping a draft on one of the lines. So we know Dean and Charles are teammates. They could definitely play a role. Bob Fitzgerald, also teammates with that TW group. Philip Bridgman, he's got some opportunities to try to help one of the lanes as well. And, of course, Gabe Butler. So really, if a lot of them change around here, that could open up some opportunities. There's a little bit of movement there once more here. Oh, the 7, I think, just caught the wall there through 3 and 4. Able to pull back off of it, but it's going to cost him some momentum, and that's going to drop him to probably about the back of this lead pack here as we drop to 10 to go in this race here. Again, do want to mention, though, so I haven't forgotten everybody else. Jack Wells, he's actually dropped back to Evan Carlbon in the 78. Gary Huffines in the 98. I think Jack is just going absolute fuel conserve mode if he can stand any chance to try to make it without a splash. But right now, though, you can see the field starting to move around. They kind of moved off the bottom a little bit now, trying to open up their entries and exits. There's been a lot of two-tire stops in this race. Those tires may not be as happy as we think they are. Like I said, the one I still want to watch to see at some point, we're going to see something happen, I feel like. Together on Friday. I do from first-hand experience. I saw 5 and the 9 work together. We'll see if they can maybe try to make some magic happen twice here tonight. But unfortunately, only with the 9 being the beneficiary, with Dean unfortunately being trapped that one lap down. So we'll see. 8 to go here at the line right now. Teammates still rolling that inside lane. 94 and the 2 trying to get there, but they need more numbers to have any sort of chance at this one. As right now you can see these guys are pretty lockstep on the inside. And right now Dean also down to the inside lane. So we'll see, though. Maybe Dean tries to get Charles to be the leader of the outside lane, and they switch things around. So we'll see. Charles jumps top, though, so we'll see if maybe now's the time for that 9. He wants to make that move. We're also starting to approach that risk versus reward window, which is right now the risk is it's only a 7-car breakaway. So if you cause a caution, you just brought a whole bunch of cars back into it. The reward, you might be able to win the race. And right now I feel like the driver that is definitely trying the hardest right now, again, taking the risk to give himself the best chance to win this race, is that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. I'm seeing the side draft. He's been able to pull Vicente off those top 2, but again, though, just isn't able to make any charge from it as of yet. And you see Charles Johnson, actually, I think he's opted to drop back down to the inside line, and I kind of think that may not be the wrong call if he can get far enough up. Right now, I think if he could push Maxwell, I think there might be a better chance. Right now, I just don't think Todd's got the grip, it looks like, in the 2 to be able to push that 94 effectively here. I think Dave may have used up those tires just trying to catch the field in the first place. So we'll have to wait and see. We're 5 to go here. They said Maxwell's kind of stalled out right around this 3rd position here with that 41 of Vicente. And again, Vicente's got all the push he can get from John Ellis as well. But the other thing to throw a wrench into is they aren't too far away from traffic. You've got the 00 and the 21, and right now they are definitely not running at the song that these leaders are, so we'll see if that comes into play. But at some point, yeah, Charles is going to try to do something different here in that 9 car to have any chance of trying to get there. Right now, he just has not found a way to get around the 2 of Todd Merkel, and so we'll just have to kind of keep an eye and wait and see. But right now, it's pretty much these 2 have been able to stay lockstep, the 16 and the 62. We saw the switch a little earlier where the 16 was actually able to get in front, and so far that has made a difference. But all this fighting here is really kind of, again, dropped him about a car length or 2 off the back of these top 2. That said, we are down to 3 to go, and the leaders, again, ever slightly closer and closer, catching those 2 lap cars just ahead. So, but now it's going to be the opportunity. This is where Todd Merkel's got to push Maxwell as much as he can if he can get there. Charles Johnson, he's going to try to stay right on the back of the 2 car to get him to the 94 car. But it just doesn't seem like the 2 has the grip that the 9 does. And so again, you can see, I think Charles he wants to try to help that lane, but he knows it's not going anywhere. And so he said, all right, well, again, I think I'm going to have to try to drop back to the inside line. So up front, though, Cody still continues to lead. Do we see a move from Landon Velke? Do we see a move from Vicente Guerrero? And if we do, when will it be? The answer is from Vicente, not yet, because he can't. He's got the 94 to the outside. They're going to be coming to the white this time. Is there a last-ditch charge here from that outside line? They're going to go for all they can. White flag is out here at Atlanta. Can Cody hang on to it? Can Maxwell make a charge? But right now, it looks nice and clean for the 16. But again, don't sleep on Landon Velke. Can he try to make a last lap move here through 3 and 4? And here you go. There's the move. He's going to go to the top. The 16 tries the block. Oh, contact further back. The 14, the 9. They all hang on to it. Maxwell's going to try to take advantage of it. He gets a little tight. He catches the wall out of 4. coming to the line, though. Who is it going to be at the edge? And, oh, that is a dead heat if I've ever seen one. It's showing Landon Velke by 6 thousandths. We'll wait for the official, but it might be Landon Velke getting the win here tonight at Atlanta. What a move. What a finish. I mentioned he didn't want to finish third anymore. He was probably getting a second, but he may have pulled off a first in all of it. And Cody gave him a little bump. Congrats. I think we have our race winner in that 62 right here. What we will do is while we watch these guys celebrate is we can get those official results, or we'll say official, unofficial. And yeah, there you go. 6 thousandths of a second. Landon Velke over Cody Nichols. We'll go back and we'll get a closer look at that one at the finish. We got Vicente Guerrero able to hold off Maxwell Caldwell for third. And then you got Todd Merkel there grabbing that fifth spot again. I mean, Maxwell and Todd, they fought as hard as they possibly could. Just could not, unfortunately, get latched on like they wanted to. But, man, what a job by those two. Like I said, they were fighting for all their worth. So, great job to those two drivers. Charles Johnson, like I said, just couldn't find the opening for him. John Ellis just hangs on to that car at the end. I don't know how he stayed pointed straight at the end there. And then you got Evan Carlbon there in 8th. Gary Huff finds 9th. Thomas Holder rounding out our top 10. And then you got Bob Fitzgerald here. Jack Walls, you can see, did wind up a lap down, unfortunately. William Roberts, Brandon Briggs, and then Tough Nights as well. Dean Wilkinson, Gabe Butler, Hayden Davis, Eric Laurie. And then you've got Philip Bridgman, Dude Conrad, Tom Dixon, and Justin Davis. All right, so now let's go back here. I want to see this run to the checkered. Because first off, I mean, what a move there. You saw him make that jump. Cody tries to cover, and it's just, I mean, they've said it from the get-go, like, hey, there's no holds barred here at the end of these races. We are going to be going for the win at the end. So, but we're going to watch. I want to see if I can time it well, hopefully, just how close it was between these two at the finish. Hopefully we can try to grab a good angle here as well. Oh man, I couldn't have paused that any better if I tried. But yeah, so actually this is probably one of the better angles you have right here. So yeah, there you go. By a little over a splitter, maybe just about the nose cone of a car, is that 62 over the 16. But just a great job by all of those drivers there to just even make a shot at it there at the end. So yeah, hands off to them. They fought extremely hard, and they made it a lot of fun there at the end. So Brendan and I, we have a habit. If we get teams that line up 1, 2, 3 in those situations, we grab the whole team. So we're going to grab, well, not going to grab the whole teams. That'll be a little chaotic because they've got a good group of guys there. But we're going to grab the top 3 of those teams. So that's going to be Vince. That's going to be Cody. And that is going to be our race winner of Landon Velke as well. So we are going to grab our top 3 finishers. And like I said, if they're teammates, they're all joining the party together. So that is going to be Vicente in 3rd, Cody in 2nd by 6 thousandths of a second. Not to rub salt in the wound there, Cody. And Landon Velke getting the win here tonight at Atlanta. And I mean, I'd say pit stop's the name of the game again here tonight. I saw it on Friday night. What was the strat there? It seemed like 2 tires right sides was maybe the call for some. Sometimes we saw 4 tires on the green flag stops, but kind of once the race got settled in, then it was kind of what we talk about, the bread and butter of this league is just executing your in laps, your out laps, making the right tire calls. How does this track compare on pit stops compared to a Daytona Talladega? I mean, does this one you put some laps in to kind of get comfortable again?
Go ahead, Vince.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a weird
why
one.
just take it easy coming into pits for sure.
You don't want to hit that white line there because then you get a penalty. But man, I didn't practice any pits during the practice session, which I should have practiced, but I had it wheel it down hard on the brakes before the commitment cone there and downshift to second, just hold second around the corner and hard on the brakes again before you get into pit.
And then we're first off we're watching the drift of John there in the background. So then you get to your white flag. You're coming to turns 3 and 4. You see Landon, you see Cody. Are you thinking, all right, they're gonna do something here? This is gonna open up a window for me. I mean, were you watching those two at all, or were you kind of having to stay
Yeah,
focused on Maxwell? Because I mean, Maxwell was giving you
yeah,
probably
he
the
was giving
hardest time of
me.
your life there those
Oh
last
my
handful of
goodness
laps.
gracious, he was. I mean, that side draft was unbelievable there. I mean, I was drifting up the corner and he was drifting up as well. I don't know if I was pushing him out, but man, my car did not want to turn. And I did get clear of Maxwell at one point there, I think at the white flag, and I was thinking to go up there, but I'm like, I can't even turn the corner on the bottom lane. Imagine if I go to the second, I probably just hit the wall. So I just stay behind Cody and let them handle it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy the way. Yeah, like I said, and I kind of wonder, Cody. I'll bring it to you now. Is obviously a lot of two tire stops. I mean, do you think is that just a tire wear at the end, or it's just the lefts were like, okay, I would like some attention paid to us at some point in this race?
Yeah, it's definitely different than the truck though, because Friday night we didn't like I personally didn't take rights the entire race, but that wasn't an option. And Ellis ran a little bit more in practice than I did, and he noticed that the rights were wearing quite a bit, and it doesn't seem to really affect the car too much if you take just rights, because some of the cars, if you take rights, it gets your car super loose, but that wasn't an issue in this car. So it was kind of like a flip flop. Friday was take lefts only, and then tonight was take rights only. And the last stop, the left front really wasn't wearing all that bad. The last stop when I exited pits, it was at 85%. Mine was. But we had a little bit of a strategy where we had Evan and John were out front leading to start the race once we got the couple cautions out of the way. So they had to spend the rest of the race kind of riding in line, where we did vice versa and riding in line on that first stop. And then we just started picking them off once we seen that fuel wasn't going to be an issue anymore. Vince, Landon, and myself decided to go to the front, get clean air, and just take the race, take control of the race, where passing was going to be a little bit harder, so we wanted to establish the track position on where we wanted to be before the guys started trying to race us for position.
Yeah, and I caught that too before. I think it was before the final pit stop, or I think it was you and Landon. People started peeling in, and then I mean, you set sail where it was like these guys haven't pitted yet, and they're like a second off of you. So, no, you guys did a really really good job on the pit situation there. Like I said, kind of the maxing out the kind of the in laps, the out laps, and all that. It was really really impressive. And then Landon, I'll say, I think if I remember, I think you had, if I'm not mistaken, you had a really quick overall pit time. Because let's say some of the toys I get to play with have like the pit in, the pit out, and all that. And so it looked like I think you had one of the lowest pit lane times. But so I mean, obviously that plays a big role. But then obviously the quick early yellows, you guys, I'm sure, obviously all in communication. Do you guys discuss like, hey, we know at this point we can make this a two-stop race if we pit now? I mean, obviously the first one would have been iffy, and then you get that one around lap 6, I think it was. Is that where it's like, yeah, we got to do this, or else we're just shooting ourselves in the foot?
Uh, I I mean, it was kind of early on when we realized that usually you want to try and figure that out really quick and see like, okay, how much do I have? iRacing can be the little black box thing. Sometimes it won't show you till you've done like a few green flag laps. Then once you figure it out from there, um, just you got to plan from there on out. And I know like all of us, our whole team. I mean, me, Cody, Vince, John, Evan, we all know how to fuel save. We all know how to do it right. John and Evan decided not to do that tonight, at least in the early run, at least not what we were doing. But still, I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
Oh, it was the lap
I'm
6, the
happy.
lap 6 pit stop decision.
Nah,
Oh yeah,
Podesta.
yeah. That was, we just you want to maximize fuel, and we're pretty confident in our abilities to at least make our way up there by the end of the race. So, it's a 100 lap race. You still have 95 laps to go if it's lap 6. Lots of time, and when you're in the back, that gives you better opportunities to actually sit there and save the fuel that you need to get, to where to hit your number. And we did that tonight. It worked out. Glad I won. Finally, I was sick of
I
finishing
was
third.
Yeah, we chatted pre-race. I made the comment that it's the 2/3 in a row. You weren't going to want to get another one, and I mean, you looked like you maybe had a good chance at a second going on, but I mean, you guys have said it from the get-go. You're not going to roll over and just be like, okay, yeah, whatever. You guys had a good opportunity there. You made that great move. Cody tried to stop it, and then I mean, again, 6,000ths of a second. It was really fun to watch. Like I said, it's not a like after you, it's like, no, you guys, I mean, you guys have said it from the get-go. You'll race each other as hard, if not harder, than the other guys because you know what to expect with each other. And it was a really exciting finish there at the end. So, like I said, now you got to grab a second at some point to complete the trifecta.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen at some point, probably in the most devastating way possible. That's how it tends to be. But yeah, I mean, either way, just glad to win. It's like I said, it's my third race in the league now. Really happy Cody invited me to it and running with these guys. And really like racing with them, of course. And it's just feels good to get a win. And now we're hopefully going to try and make a run for a championship eventually. But that's going to be a tough one with these guys. It's going to be fun to see what we can do with that.
Yeah, so that'll be where you find out how good of a teammates you got, because then you'll all get greedy. But no, great job tonight again. So I'll circle back in the order again here. So Vince, as you always know, sir, we're going to bring you back in and give you the floor for any thanks and shout outs for that podium here tonight, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch this one back. I want to thank Area 51 for putting on this league and all their admins for putting up with me and all the other drivers. And I also want a huge shout out to my folks out in Arizona, my mom and dad. I love you guys, and my wife for letting me do what I do every night. My teammates here in Discord.
Yeah, I'm saying I can't tell them to stay out of the snow because I think we're probably the only places that aren't getting any, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting any
No,
out in
there'd be
Arizona.
issues. Yeah, no, there'd be issues if we were getting some out here, man.
Yeah.
No, great job though again, Vince, on that podium tonight, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, passing it over to you, sir, for your runner up here tonight. As always, of course, got to give you the floor.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Oh, it was just you tonight, actually. Okay, well, I want to thank you, Gael. Always love watching your broadcast back. One of the best, definitely. Love the analysis that you give, and I don't think there's many that do it a lot better than you. Area 51 admins, everyone behind the scenes. I know, as Charles said on Friday, Bud does a lot behind the scenes that really what he does is pretty thankless. So I want to give a shout out to Bud. Want to give a shout out to everyone on the team tonight. Another good team performance. Give a shout out to my dad, my mom, and yeah, we got about a foot of snow out there, so I was able to get everything kind of cleaned off of my car and the driveway and everything. So I got to work remote for a couple hours tomorrow and then make my way into work, and hopefully the roads aren't too bad. But want to just wish everyone or hope everyone is safe if you were affected by the snow. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. I think it's going to be a fun little championship battle we got going on here on Sundays. I think it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah, no, yeah, you guys are going to be, like I said, you guys are going to be throwing haymakers. I have a feeling kind of like the last laps. I think it's going to be like that in those final four races. It's going to be a lot of fun to see. Like I said, I mean, that was a great fight between the two of you. I'm showing it again right now, and man, if that finish line is just maybe a little bit different, I'm sure you guys will go and look at it too. But like when you guys make a little bit of contact, the momentum I think actually shifts away from you to land in there. So it's all these little things that you see that you don't maybe realize in the heat of it. So really, really cool. But yeah, no, great job again, Cody. A lot of fun watching you guys battle out. So Landon, you got the 2/3. Now you get the win. So we get to give you the last interview that you've been hoping to get these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, same things they said. Appreciate you for broadcasting. You were a new one to me. I hadn't seen anything from this broadcasting channel before until I joined the league, and I've been thoroughly impressed with what I've seen. It's been really fun to go back and watch, John. So shout out to you for that, and then all the admins for putting it on. It's a big night tonight with the NFC Championship and all that going on, but they're still here putting a race on for us, and gotta thank them for that, and mom and dad as well for tuning in. Finally got a win, unlike we did Thursday and Friday and Saturday, but um, not in this league, of course, but still, Thursday was a pretty big heartbreak. So pretty glad to at least kind of bounce back and get a win here tonight.
Yeah, and I had no idea that the other game wasn't over. I will have great news for you guys, though, is that we've decided not to have people make the tough choice between the Super Bowl or Area 51. We're going to push that race off a week. So I think it's February 8th, if my bad math is somewhere in that window. Whatever that Sunday is, we'll give you guys a reprieve and not make it to choose between us. I know it'd be a tough choice, but no, again, great job. And yeah, I won't spoil the game for you guys, though.
All the teammates too. I always shout them out. I forgot them. Cody, Vince, Evan, John. It's fun, right? Like I said, fun racing with them on a Sunday night. That's the best that we can go out there and do. We're all very competitive. It's really fun. Looking forward to those last like 3 laps, wondering what each other are gonna do. To try and win the race, and we had that tonight. But anyway, I just forgot that one. I had to get that one in there too.
Oh yeah, I got something else. I got a huge shout out to John for not taking my inside. Yeah, one of our teammates there. Man, I was drifting hard through those corners, and if it was anybody else but John, man, they would have took my inside.
So I'm sure he'll put it on you in the future. I'm like, hey, remember I did you that solid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Great job though tonight, guys. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. You guys put on a great show, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the rest of you have for the end of the season. But again, long ways to get there. So go enjoy this one, and look forward to seeing you on track again soon, though.
Thank you, Gil.
Yep, thanks.
All right, those are our top 3 finishers, all part of the Nightmare Esports group, able to sweep the top 3 there. And again, just a great job by all those guys tonight. And yeah, and I mean, I love it. Like I said, there's times where it might risk getting rid of the sweep, but when it comes down to it, on the last lap, coming either out of 2, out of 3, wherever it may be, pretty much expect a move to be made for one of them to get the win. They don't want to just roll over and let the other guy win. And we've seen both sides of it, and I agree with both sides of it. Where hey, a win for the team or a win for a teammate's a win for me as well. And then yeah, so I say there's different ways of looking at it. The strategy may shift when it comes to playoff time. We'll have to wait and see. That's the fun part about it, because after tonight, we've still got 6 more regular season races to go. And then we'll get into that 4-race playoff. So plenty of racing to go. Again, reminder, we will be off on Super Bowl Sunday because, again, I mean, I want to give the Super Bowl a chance. I mean, I know that everybody wants to race, but, sometimes you got to take one for the team. So, but yeah, for myself tonight, Brandon Briggs is on the track tonight. Always love having Brandon on the track. Gives us great insight. Boomer could not make it here this evening. He had been having some internet issues with his weather, and also was playing good husband as well, taking care of his wife. So, yeah, Boomer, hope Alyssa's doing better. And yeah, look forward to seeing you hopefully once the snow dies down out there as well in the ice. And again, everybody out on the East Coast, I hope you're all, hopefully power, internet, all that stuff. Well, mostly the power is good. But yeah, stay safe, stay warm. And of course, as always, until next time, take care, stay safe, and have a good night.